Could Stefan DiMera lives? The mystery behind that get-well card might be the clue we've all been waiting for in the unpredictable and drama-laced world of Days of Our Lives. Even the smallest detail can hold enormous significance. Longtime viewers know better than to shrug off a simple get-well card, especially when it arrives with a name that hasn't graced our screens in months, if not years. And now, the burning question on everyone's mind is this. Could Stefan DiMera be making a dramatic return to Salem? Let's take a step back and examine what's just happened. E.J. DiMera, no stranger to power plays, manipulation, and dangerous enemies, recently received a get-well card. But not just any card. This one, quite conspicuously, was signed by none other than Stefan DiMera, a character we've been told is halfway across the world, supposedly kidnapped and held in Alemania. To many, it may have seemed like a throwaway moment. A curious line, a blink and you miss it mention. But for longtime fans who know how Salem works, this might be the opening note of something much bigger. Let's be honest here, if the writers didn't want us to think about Stefan, why drop his name at all? The world of daytime television doesn't run on coincidences. Every detail, every passing comment, every character name that resurfaces after months in the shadows is a breadcrumb leading to a bigger reveal. And this particular crumb? It smells like a full-on DiMera comeback. Now, we all remember the last time we saw Stefan. Portrayed by the charismatic and fiercely talented Brandon Barish, Stefan was a compelling presence, flawed, magnetic, deeply layered. His storyline had its ups and downs, but Barish's performance kept fans invested, emotionally charged, and begging for more. That's why it was so jarring when he was abruptly written off the canvas. And let's not forget the way he was written off. It wasn't just a clean exit. There was drama, confusion, and an overall sense of unfinished business. At the time, it was explained that there simply weren't enough ideas to continue his storyline. Under then-head writer Ron Carlivati, Brandon Barish was released from the show not because he lacked talent, far from it, but because the creative team had, frankly, run out of imagination for Stefan DiMera. But that was then. That was another regime. Now, Days of Our Lives has undergone a quiet but significant creative shift behind the scenes. The writing team has changed. The atmosphere is different. And from what we're seeing on screen, with long-forgotten characters suddenly mentioned, past storylines being revived, and familiar faces stepping back into the light, the winds are clearly shifting in Salem. Enter the card. A get-well card seems harmless enough. But not in Salem. Not when it's tied to someone like Stefan. Let's entertain the possibilities, shall we? Was the card really from Stefan? Could it be that Vivian Alamain, ever the schemer, is playing a cruel psychological game with EJ by invoking the name of a presumed missing family member? It's certainly in her wheelhouse. But even that begs the question, why now? Why would Vivian, of all people, choose this moment to toss Stefan's name back into the narrative? Is it to destabilize EJ? Or could it be something far more intriguing? A signal to the audience that Stefan isn't as far gone as we've been led to believe? And here's where it gets even more compelling. If Brandon Barish were to return, he wouldn't be stepping into the same landscape he left. The dynamics in Salem have shifted. Kristen is making power plays again. Gabby, the great love of Stefan's life, is trapped in emotional limbo. EJ is clinging to DiMera Enterprises but facing threats from all sides. The timing couldn't be more perfect for Stefan's return. Especially if he's been secretly biding his time, gaining power in the shadows, or worse, being held and manipulated by forces we haven't even begun to comprehend. Let's be honest, Days of Our Lives needs Stefan right now. The show is rich with corporate espionage, twisted romances, betrayals, and feuds, all elements that Stefan thrived in. Bringing him back wouldn't just stir the pot, it would ignite a whole new fire. Imagine it. Stefan suddenly returning to Salem, very much alive, with a grudge against those who failed to come find him. Would he reunite with Gabby? Would he try to wrestle power from EJ? Would he align with Kristen or go toe-to-toe with her in a sibling war for dominance? The possibilities are endless. And with Brandon Barish's undeniable screen presence, the ratings would soar. It's also worth remembering how the fans reacted when he was let go. The backlash was immediate and intense. Petitions were circulated. Social media lit up with support for Barish and outrage over Stefan's departure. That kind of loyal fanbase doesn't fade with time, it simmers, quietly, waiting for the opportunity to roar once again. And maybe, just maybe, this is that moment. Of course, there's been no official announcement. No confirmation from Days of Our Lives or Brandon Barish himself. But sometimes, what's not said is just as important as what is. The very fact that they slipped Stefan's name into an episode means he's on the radar. And that's the first step. That's how it begins. So, to the fans who've waited patiently, who've held on to the hope that their beloved Stefan DiMera wasn't gone for good, this could be the beginning of a long-awaited resurrection. We've seen it time and time again in Salem. The dead don't stay dead. The lost are found. And the forgotten are never truly gone. So the next time you hear about a mysterious card or a strange name drop, don't dismiss it. In Days of Our Lives, every whisper has weight. And right now, all signs are pointing towards something brewing, something that smells distinctly like a DiMera storm. Could Stefan DiMera be on his way home? Let's hope so. Would you welcome Stefan back to Salem with open arms? Or do you think his return would shake things up too much?